It's June 22nd, 2025 for another episode. Coach Keyton and Crawford here in the Crawford Podcasting Network. Please, if you do us a favor, go out to our YouTube channel, Tom's Take Community, and subscribe for free. All the videos, this video series, all the other sports content, leadership stuff, the Tom's Take, Food, Spirits, and Takeout with Snelly and Teddy, all that good stuff. Please go out. You would honor us by doing that and just sharing the fun
please.
Get connected. And one of my favorite podcasts, because this is the most, Food Spirits and Takeouts every week, but you and I, we don't miss, seemingly.
No.
When I was hospitalized the first couple of weeks after my surgery in February, we missed, but other than that, last few years, we've been rolling. And clockwork. And I want to throw this question out to you because this big fella, larger than life, Kerry Keyton, seems to be bothered by cold so often on Friday nights. He's always told it's real. He's always bitching about how cold it is. Okay, dude, is this finally hot enough for you? 95, whatever the hell it's going to be?
Like literally, like tomorrow morning, I'll probably be in heaven because I'm gonna have my plastic suit on and my sweater, and I'm gonna be on that track getting these laps in, and I'll be sweating like a pig out there. But yesterday, just walking to the store with my wife,
moving,
that's a different kind of stuff out there right now. You gotta be careful out there.
Hot. Yeah. It's hot.
The wind was blowing hot.
With 33 years of high school football coaching, and I just had, as far as coaching goes, such a small fraction. And I was at the youth level with East Lansing Junior Trojans that my wife and I ran for 10 years. I was always concerned, and I was dealing with 7th and 8th grade boys, and they're sweat gland. They don't sweat maybe as good as they should as they get older, and seems a lot of beet red faces on these hot days. And I was always like freaking nervous as all get out about, making sure they were properly hydrated. And I mean, when I was involved, there was a lot of breaks, I'm telling you, because, you know what it's like. I mean, my God, I'm telling you, it seems like that first, second week of August, we get like 5 days that just will, just devastate you in the heat department. And I was curious to know, when did you know? I mean, and technology and medical, training has increased dramatically during your career, not just as a player, but I mean, you're taking salt tablets as a player back in the day, whatever. Yeah, okay. But my point is this: were you nervous about working hard your kids on days like today and what will be like tomorrow?
It's funny because, like you talk about the salt pills. Them things used to be in the water fountain, in the locker room at Eastern High School. Them nasty salt. I'm not taking that crap. But guys used to grab them by the handful and eat them. But literally, during tour days at Eastern High School, we got one water break. That was it.
Okay, over how much duration? Like a 3-hour during 2 days? What?
Say the first practice in the morning was 2 hours, and then the one in the afternoon was 2 hours. Because back then we'd go in the morning and go in the afternoon.
Then you go back in the afternoon, right?
Now, like I said, we keep we keep them right there. But anyway, that's different. But we got one after you did the running. You got and it was probably like 5-6 minutes, whatever. Then you went back to practice, and then as you well know, our upper field at Eastern back in the day, that after 2 days, it was a damn dust bowl and just nasty. Piece full of dirt, But we got one.
I mean, that's hard clay.
Yeah, just rocks.
Foundation on that field. The grass blades were like that thick.
Oh yeah, and then we brought our own back then. You had to freeze it in the freezer and then bring it out, melt it over Then we had a hose. We got to put a hose out there on the building, and then later when we were down below, we run the thing out to the thing. But going to college, we had each position group got your own trainer.
Yeah.
So them young people had the water right there. So you need some water, they give you the bottle, you drink the water, give it back to them. And now it's like, especially practicing turf, where it's even warmer. Like, hey man, go get some water. Go.
Yeah.
And they want to stand by you. Hey man, coach, I'm not thirsty. Boy, if you don't get over there and drink that water,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna fall out on me.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not taking those chances.
It's like you
Water.
make a good point. Everybody would get and I've been to Michigan football practices, the rare times they've had open practices. You've been a lot at Michigan State, but mine was last time was a few years ago, and it was like, my God, there's like 3 water boys, water girls to every player. I mean, they're holding up there. I mean, my God, it's unbelievable. They got the big Gatorade, 6
All of
pack.
that.
Anybody know? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, so that should be comforting at that level. However, at the high school level, you don't have those resources.
No, you don't, and it's a struggle because even at East Lansing, Everett, we had to run our water out of our team room, and we had run a hose over to by the stadium. So the kids had to run over there, get a drink. It just takes so much time. It's wasted time.
Right.
Even at East Lansing, they redid the field. They ain't put no water on the field. So we got to run the stupid water hose out from the team room.
Oh, from the pit? I mean, you're talking about when you're at the pit or what?
No, sir. I'm talking about at the stadium.
Oh, at the stadium. Oh, yeah.
They put no water on the field when they redid it. When we asked them, we need to put water, stations so you could put the. So right now we have to run it from the team room, and it comes out to one place. Now, I guess we could run hoses all over the place, but that's not conducive for anything. But so we have one area which is kind of where I like to take my offensive lineman and Coach Brent. We would go there to practice so the water was closer to us, so I didn't have to walk as far. Myself personally, the last 10 years as a coach, I wore a Camelback. I'd fill it up with ice and water, so I had my water with me right over my shoulder and drink, so I didn't have to go waste my time going to get the water.
Right.
But it's a struggle. Ideally, on a football field, you got one at the 10, 15-yard line on the sideline, water spigot, so you could hook up the water boys. So you got water all around the field, so guys can go. You need to go get a drink. Go get a drink. So you don't have to go real far to get it, and the kids can get water because, like I said, I'm too old. And I try to teach these young guys, hey man, the last thing you want on your career is you had a kid die because of dehydration because he ain't getting no water.
It's ironic you bring that up because, if you were a coach who lost a kid on quote unquote your watch, oh my God, that would be beyond devastation. When I was covering high school football in the state of Texas for 3 years in the early 80s, oh my God, throughout the state, I mean, there were players dying.
Right.
And it wasn't like the big news peg of the day. I mean, because that heat down there, like what we're having today is a normal August day.
Oh yeah.
In August and September.
But when I went down there and picked up that Suburban in Houston, hey man, that was different. That was different.
Because humidity level. I mean, like this morning at 8 o'clock this morning here in East Lansing, it was 80 degrees and the humidity was 76%. Okay.
Absolutely.
At 8 in the morning. See, that's what in Houston, I mean, the heat index was just, you couldn't beat it. And so, but they got, a lot of those kids are acclimated. So my question to you, Kerry, on this topic, and we'll go on to other topics, is this. What do you advise, all these 7-on-7s? And I know the coaching staffs of the high school throughout Greater Lansing, they advise their kids, but if it was you advising your student athletes how to prepare for a 95-degree 7-on-7, like taking place at Michigan State today, what would you tell them to do? Like starting the night before.
Oh, you know, the night before it's too late. It's too
Too
late.
late night before.
Yeah, you like trust me. Like if you ever see me without my bottle, something's wrong with me. I'm not feeling right. Call the ambulance because something's wrong here. I don't go nowhere without my bottle. And if we
They
tell
can't do that as players, though, Kerry.
no. You're correct. Well, you tell them, hey man, like well you know it's gonna start getting. Obviously you know it's practice. Hey man, you got to hydrate every day. You got to drink. You got to get your electrolytes, even the Gator juice and that kind of stuff. Get your Pedialyte. You have to start preparing your body 2-3 days before, you know, because even like during the season, like you get them cold days, but then it's gonna be hot on Friday. Like, hey
Yeah.
man, well, I'm not thirsty. Yeah, you may not think you're thirsty, but your body's thirsty. You have to hydrate because the day before or the day of, it's too late for that. Because you're gonna sweat out whatever you're trying to drink, and you're gonna be running on empty. So you just and again, they're not all gonna listen.
No.
But when that body lock up and that cramp lock up and them legs look like cement and they don't move because they're rock hard because you're not hydrated, all the pickle juice and all them little tricks they try to get you, it ain't gonna work, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
In collaboration with that, how about what they should eat, like in the morning before you got a morning practice, whatever, and it's hot as hell, so you're going to get tested. What do you eat in the morning?
I mean, everybody's body is different. So I mean, like we're back in Michigan State. No, we would eat steak and eggs every morning. I mean, that's what they was cooking. That's what we were eating. But everything is so different now. You want to drink. I mean, you just want to make sure you're getting enough fluids. But you gotta get some protein. You got to get some carbs. You got to get some fat. You got to get a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But the key is you have to eat something. You can't come out on the field on an empty belly.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids, like in the summertime, they might not be getting that meal in the morning. So I mean, at least protein bar, something that you can get that has some energy and has some sustenance to it. It's very hard to try. Like I said, you go at Michigan State, they got halftime. They get the snacks at halftime.
Yeah.
Practice. They're eating peanut butter jelly sandwich or that kind of good stuff. Like we used to really take care of our kids at Everett during tour days. Miss Foster and the other parents, we would make peanut butter jelly sandwiches for them, and they could purchase Gatorades from us and stuff for $1 or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
In between tour days, we had bananas.
Because back in the day, like you mentioned before, 2 days in high school football here in the state of Michigan, morning session, go home for lunch, and then come back in the heat of the day at 3 o'clock, whatever. Okay, we're real smart. But now, or in the last, I'd say 20 years, it's been this combined camp or combined session deal. Start them in the morning, keep them on campus.
Sure.
A chance to, I don't know, lie down, watch film. I don't know what y'all do. And isn't there a time? Farako told me this one time. There's between workout, there's a required time duration that your body can recover from the morning workout, where you will suffice in the second session. I mean, what is that? 90 minutes, 2 hours? What is that?
I mean, it different ranges, but we try. I mean, we would give them about an hour and 15 at the most, because we're trying to get them in and get them out before 1 o'clock, because a lot of our kids had to go
that's the goal.
They had to go work, so you can't keep them. And that's why your practice time is so. Hey, dog, you got to have it down. Boom, 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 and at East Lansing is easy, because I mean sometimes we get a little carried away, but everything is so structured. Like, okay, we got to stay on time, and coach have us watch. Like, hey, we got to go, so we could get the kids out, and then get them. Now we all know they're not gonna go home and stay off their feet, but the goal is to get them off their feet, so that you're not gonna be back here until such and such time tomorrow. It's close to 24 hours. That 18 to get your feet to come back and be regenerated, so you can get busy the next day.
Yeah.
So everybody's different, and everybody got, you know, everybody got different stuff they got to do. Some kids got to go work, so
Yeah.
they're not going to be off their feet. But you just gotta encourage them, make sure try to if they, like we said, we have bananas, apples, and stuff at East Lansing for the kids to eat, oranges, like you try to supplement that stuff. But we always encourage them to bring a sandwich,
Right.
bring
Well,
protein
get
bars.
off they got to get off their feet though.
Yeah, and we're lucky at East Lansing because, like the school is air conditioned anyway, so they
Yeah.
go into the gymnastics team room, and the mats are out, and they can
Yeah.
lay in there and relax and
That's
cool.
perfect. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
so that works
Yeah.
out. That works out. We're even in the aux gym. They go sit in the
That's
aux.
like kindergarten rug time for football.
Truly. Like get your butt. The hard part was practicing back there in the rock garden, going in there during the break, go get them some water because they had to go across the street to get the water because that's where the water fountain was. They try to sneak in there like, hey man, get out of that dang room.
Yeah.
Feel that cold air coming out of there, start pull you in. So,
Oh yeah. I
but yeah,
know.
you just got to take care of them and encourage them. But
Okay.
got to get hydrated.
I referenced that 7-on-7. It's going on at Michigan State. What do you hear about Michigan State workouts, football wise? We're getting closer, man. We're getting close to the end of June. There's July, there's August, and August 29th, the Michigan State Spartans open their season on a Friday night against the Broncos of Western Michigan. But I hear anything about how the workouts are going or how your personnel's looking?
Yeah, I know they're out there grinding. I'm going to try to get out there. Well, we got our Spartan Dog Con coming up here, so we'll get to watch some. I guess be like OTA kind of things because they're working out all the time, team stuff now. They have those availabilities. They can practice with each other and go through stuff. So I'll get to see some of that. But I'm really excited. Doing really well on the recruiting right now.
They are. Michigan State's doing very well for 26.
Good recruits. I know they still have those Debbie Downers out. Oh, they're only 3. Hey man, look.
No, they got 10 commitments, I think, or more, or maybe more than that for 26. I'm trying to think. They're doing pretty good.
And they're doing, and like I told my friends, they're only 3 stars. Hey man, look, I played with a bunch of guys that came in with 5 stars that should have been toilet because they sucked. So don't let that star stuff fool you. There's lots of guys out there that got them stars that not very good football players. They just, did a little something here or there, whatever. But I'm excited that we're doing so well there. But like I said, I'm gonna get out here. It's hard for me right now because I've got so much stuff going on with driving and
Right.
But I will when I go. You'll be the first to hear.
I want to know, and I also, and I'm dovetailing off on Nick Saban comment. Maybe I referenced this before. Just a couple 3 weeks ago, he was for some reason talking about Aiden Childs, the quarterback, Michigan State, who was somewhat of a mixed bag with his output. And makes some great play. Got some raw talent, big time raw talent, but makes some key mental errors and such. Understandable. As a dark horse, Heisman or dark horse player to watch, blah blah blah. I don't know. That kind of surprised because I'm one of those guys. As much talent as you have, you gotta have protection up front.
Period.
And this speaks to your expertise. Obviously, as a former Michigan State lineman, what are you hearing about the development of the O line this summer?
From talking to a few guys, and who we got in there, we should be better. Now, if that doesn't equate to more wins, then we haven't gotten better. But that is the key. It doesn't matter how good Aiden Childs is if he's running for his life or trying to throw the ball from his back.
Yeah,
not going to be successful.
Right.
Where running game is not going to be successful. Nick Marsh is going to be wasting his time because we can't get him the ball because the quarterback has no time. The key for our success this year will be those guys getting better, which getting Chris Phillips back, Stanton being healthy, getting a few of those guys just and then the transfer. We just I like to talking to Coach Brett, like I need kids that are functional. Can they be functional? Because if they're functional, that's why running backs make good money. Because they have to make moves or whatever. I need 5 to 6 guys, tight end included, that can occupy these people enough so the running backs can make those moves. And you know what I'm saying? I don't need you knocking anybody 400 yards down. That'd be great. I just need you to be able to occupy your people, be functional enough in your job duties, and we'll be okay.
Well, I mean, I think when you're speaking of running backs and then pass pro time for your quarterback, Aiden Childs, people don't realize that one of the key elements of Tom Brady's successful senior year, the back half of that senior year, was he got some incredible pass protection from his running back, Anthony Thomas, who had a great year in terms of turning out yards. But man, he could take on, Laval Arrington. And Brandon, all those guys from Penn State. I mean, he became a personal protector for Tom Brady. Does Michigan State have that in their running backs? I think that's another key.
Well, we got some new. We got basically a whole new room back there. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if someone can play that role.
And that's the thing. If you're not willing to do that, then you can't play.
Well, according to you, but it might happen. I mean,
well, if he's not gonna step up and pick up a linebacker blitzing, and he'll get the quarterback knocked out the game, then what good are you?
Yeah, that's true.
And that will be proven during practice sessions or whatnot, one-on-ones, that kind of thing. Like we saw some of that action during the spring. Like, hey, okay, who the running back willing to step in there and stick his face in there? Rob Roy was our fullback when I was there. We called Rob Roy's nickname was Sludge. He was 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 290-pound fullback.
I remember him.
Had no problem blocking linebackers coming off the edge.
Yeah.
And that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
They show you the flat pass and all that kind of stuff, but you got to be able to do all of that.
Well, speaking of Nick Marsh, I mean, obviously he will be bold prediction here, Michigan State's top receiver reception-wise. But I'm going to predict Evan Boyd, the transfer from CMU, East Lansing product, will be Michigan State's number 2 receiver reception-wise.
That would be a beautiful thing because the boy out there working his butt off. I know
he is. That's work ethic and talent and his whole desire to succeed and contribute.
And he looking good. I see.
So I hear from multiple sources. Multiple.
Boy, I mean, like we used to say at Everett, they look the part. And there's some of those guys, they look and say, yeah, they do call them TJs. They look like Tarzan, but play like Jane, But Evan Boyd is one of those guys, like we used to say, like, hey, we need to make sure he's one of the first ones off the bus. And he got the sleeveless dry fit on to showing all the guns and all that good stuff, having half roll showing the abs. You got about 4 or 5 guys on your team like that. You want to set the tone when you get off the bus in high school. Like, damn, look at those guys. Look at them.
No, that can be intimidating. The opposition.
Absolutely. To a high school kid.
Yeah. Oh man.
2 6'3s get off the bus like. Whoa.
Yeah, they're vulnerable. They're looking. Yeah.
They are looking. So
I mean, you watch high school warm-ups. You don't see this in college. In high school warm-ups, you'll see a lot of the kids. Maybe they're not top line players looking at the other side of the field. And it's like, that's not a good look.
Between that and then all them other guys will be over there, all that extra rah-rah shit that they be going, all that jumping and screaming like, hey, dog, look, you got about, turn around and look at the clock. Like, you got about another 40 minutes of that. Because when you get out here, I'm going to hit you dead in your mouth and all that rah-rah stuff going to go away.
Yeah, one hit.
We have a few of those teams in the area that like to
okay. Well, then that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
We'll break that down. Okay, he's Terry Keyton. I'm Tom Crawford here in the Crawford Podcasting Network. Want to express appreciation for watching today's podcast. I also want to recommend to do what I'm going to do today, and that's stay inside my air
Well,
conditioning.
it's funny you say that because yesterday I spent about 3 hours out in this stuff because my main man Austin came over and helped me put my new shoes and socks on, the Incredible Hulk, and my buddy Virgil is coming over today to help me work on some electrical. So I got to get
Oh God.
there. And this man said he won't come over at 12 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Like
That's insane.
like I have some of the best. Like I tell you, my circle is tight, Tom Crawford. My circle is tight. Sometimes there's barely enough room for me in it. But I got people, when I call them, if I need something, hey, they be there to help me out. So,
Yeah.
they could, people say, like, whatever. You can say what you want to say. But I got that circle. And my people coming to help me out. And God bless them. I'm going to have water, Gatorades for them.
Yeah, but then
Towel to wipe his brow, umbrella to keep him in the shade. And we're going to be out there.
and the shade ain't even cool. Here at Crawford Indoor Stadium, where the studio, which is in a finished basement, it's probably doesn't get above 65.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It doesn't get above 65 down here. I have the vent closed from the AC because I could get this sucker at 50 down here if I open the vent.
I told my daughter she's at her apartment. She's going back home here with us, but I hated it because her room was in the basement of her complex.
Yeah,
I hated that because I don't like just access, people kicking in the window.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Just nervous, but she saved so much money on heat.
Oh my God,
AC because
huge.
it's under the ground, so she didn't
Under
have
the ground.
She said she only turned her air conditioner on like just the other day.
Yeah.
That's because you live in a basement.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, God
all right,
bless.
Gary. Good job today. Have fun with your vehicle continued rehab restoration. And to all of you, stay cool out there.
Stay
As
cool.
Gary always ends it.
Go green.
And I always end it. Go blue.